Hi Allure, I'm Amanda Gorman, and today I'm going to be snapping to some of my favorite beauty and self-care products. I'm like snapping and doing all of it. If my house was on fire, I would save my journals, my dog, and a scrunchie because those things are miracle workers. I like using kind of metallic pieces that look like gold. So for example, at the inauguration, I wore a few kind of golden beads in the front and kind of around my hair. I was so excited to see that the search for headbands like skyrocketed up after the inauguration. So I'm proud that they're having a resurgence because they deserve it. I use edge gel a lot, mostly because I love my edges and care for them tenderly. I do try to walk the line because there are some which can be drying and a bit graying, and so ones that can hold the shape of my edges and protect them while also being a little bit tender and keeping them the color and moisture they were born to be is the edge gel I like. My biggest hair tip is one, really figure out protective styles that work for you. I think that's a great way to kind of keep your hair healthy, especially if you're working or busy. My second tip, especially for women with curly hair, but generally everyone, is to invest in a good pillowcase, maybe silk, because we spend so much time thinking about how our hair looks in the day when other people are around us, but it's also making sure we're taking care of it at night. When I was growing up, I didn't watch a lot of TV. The shows that I was able to watch though were Star Trek, the original series, as well as Star Trek, The Next Generation. So I took a lot of style inspiration from characters like Uhura, who was basically a Black crewman on the Enterprise. I loved her kind of ponytail and like winged eye look. I love to use scents in my self-care routine because it's a great way to use my senses to key my body into the fact that now is the time to rest, to relax. I will say I do have asthma, so I have to take that with a grain of salt and kind of just be a little bit gentle and tender with the air that I'm breathing in. I mean, crystals are pretty, they're nice, but whenever I'm in a store and they're priced for like $45, I'm like, to what end? I could pick up a rock outside. I love fuzzy socks so much. I only have fuzzy socks. I don't know any other form of sock. So soft. These are great and they're yellow. I'm gonna just keep, yeah. Please, thank you. For me, self-care encompasses so many things. Something that is critical for me to prioritize is my cool down. Sometimes I spend all my days keyed up or working or writing. And so being able to kind of have a psychological and physical space and time where I can begin to turn away from anxieties and worries and more so inward to rejuvenating myself. It's so important. And so I will sit by a fireplace, I will read a book, I'll drink some tea, I'll do a meditation, and I'll watch funny videos, but it's really keying into what makes me feel whole and happy. I'm eager to see more sunscreens that work for darker skinned people. I think that's something that needs to happen and is happening. And so I think the more that we have diversity in that area of beauty and self-care, the better it will be. A bar of soap is really to me like sliced bread. It's there, it's classic, people use it, but there's other ways of going about it. So I will use a lot of different body lotions, a lot which are for sensitive skin, which I do have. If I'm using an oil, I love this one by Melanin Hair Care because it's a multi-use oil, so it feels great and amazing kind of on my hand and on my body, but also it can work really well in my hair if I'm looking for a moisturizer. The more I can use a product for everything, the more I love it. I cannot snap enough for night serum. I love this Night Repair Complex by Estee Lauder. It has saved my skin. I love the way it feels. It's kind of thick without being syrupy. And so it feels, ooh, so smooth. And I can literally feel that moisture holding into my skin. I like to use a combination of foundations as opposed to, let's say, just one shade all over my face. Beyonce has hot sauce in her bag, swag. I would also add that I have lip gloss always as well, just to keep moisture in my lips. And I love having the ability to take a matte look and then make it, let's say, glossy for the rest of the day. I mean, if waterproof mascara works for you, great. It honestly, on my eyelashes, goes on very dry and stiff, and it's really difficult for me to get off. Blush isn't always made in shades that kind of work with darker skins. So when I use blush, I might not even be using products that kind of qualify as that. Sometimes I use a really nice lipstick that I like because it's deep enough, or I'll use something that's supposed to be eyeshadow or eye gloss, and that will actually be a more natural blush for me. Like, maybe I wouldn't go with this peach one, though. That's a gorgeous shade. I'd use that as an eyeshadow, but something that kind of pinkish purple. Being in the makeup chair a lot for this past year has been just a really interesting learning process. I think I'm always trying to figure out, how do I wear makeup in a way that feels like me. Me and my makeup artist will do what we call like a fake bake. So instead of like really powdering the face and leaving that on for several minutes, we'll, put that powder on and then immediately kind of brush it off to give it just that kind of bare hint of a touch. It can be very scary when you realize that people are kind of imitating your look, only because for me, that brings about a fear of being criticized or not good enough. But when I surmounted that kind of obstacle, I grew more excited and proud and happy that by me wearing my hair natural, or by showing up with makeup that works for my dark skin, I was making an even larger statement about widening our conceptions of beauty.